Good
Oh,
evening. Are we ready?
no, not yet. I pressed the button, but it hadn't started yet. Yeah, it takes a while. It's a little, yeah. It's still loading. I'll let you know. It says, okay, and go. Yes, go.
All right. Good evening, John Lewis Invictus Academy parents and families. My name is Ramon Garner. I'm your proud new principal here at John Lewis Invictus Academy, and just so excited to be with you this evening. This evening's event, or the reason we're having this, is to discuss our Title One plan. I wanted to spend some time just to let you know exactly what Title One is, how it benefits us at our school, and then just what are some of our goals and plans that we have in place this year for you and for your students. I would ask, and I want to be able to answer any questions that any parents may have. And so if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat, and my team and I will definitely get to them. Before I officially get started, I wanted to just introduce our administrative team, our great administrative team. We have Ms. Tanetta Green, who is here with us this evening. She's our great assistant principal over sixth grade.
Hello, everybody.
We have Dr. Mark Vinson. He's one of our another great administrators. He's over our seventh graders.
Greetings, everyone. Great evening to them.
And a host of other things that they do as well. In their absence, I want to acknowledge Mr. Andrew Fuller, who is our administrator over eighth grade. Ms. Donna Davis, who's our administrator over special education and electives. And then last but not least, Mrs. Lauren Lamont, who is our administrator over curriculum and instruction. And so that is our admin team and how we function this year. So this evening's agenda, what you need to know about Title I. So we'll talk about, again, what Title I is, what is our school-wide improvement plan, what are our goals, what curriculum does our school use, what tests will our scholars take this year and have been taking. We want to clearly communicate and partnering with our families what the school parent compact is, what the school parent and family engagement plan is, what our district parent and family engagement plan is, and what opportunities and events will the school offer this year. Now, of course, you all know that if we were not in a pandemic and we were able to be face-to-face, we would offer and have a lot more things in place. But due to things ever so changing so rapidly and making sure that safety is at the forefront of everything that we do, most of the events that we're having, or all of them for the most part, have been and will be on a virtual basis. All right, so let's dive in. What is Title I? All right. Title I is the largest federal aid program for public schools in the United States. Title I is also designed to support state and local school reform efforts tied in the challenging state academic standards to improving teaching and learning for students. And then Title I programs must be based on effective means of improving student achievement and include strategies to support parent and family engagement. So we want to talk about our school improvement plan and what some of our goals are. So let me share just another document. So families, here is our strategic plan, and you can find this on our school's website along with our parent compact form and our family engagement tabs as well. Let me just plug Ms. Bright really quickly here, who's our instructional technology specialist within our school. And she makes sure that everything, not only that our teachers understand technology and that they can use technology standards and strategies, but she also ensures that our website is a really informative place. And so as you get my calling post each and every week, I'm always talking about visit our school's website, because that's where you can find all things John Lewis Invictus Academy. And it is our way to make sure that you are in constant communication with what is happening at our school. So if you have not visited our website, please visit the website. It'll answer a lot of questions for you even before you call the school. With that being said, let me get back to what our school priorities are. Now, in a nutshell, we have three basic strategic initiatives this year. This plan is a little more detailed, but I want to tell you what those three main things that we're focusing on, and then get into, in more detail what that means. So our three strategic initiatives are climate and culture. We want to make sure that we have a positive climate for teachers and students to share and be a part of. Quality of teaching, which is something that is ever so changing and ever so constant evaluation and observation and pivots and shifts. And then our final thing is literacy. We know that the last time, and it's unfortunate our students didn't get an opportunity to take the Georgia Milestones last year, but the last time our students took the Georgia Milestones, which was 2 years ago, we ended at about 60 to 65% of our students reading below a proficient level. And so that is something that we have to, and we must put an emphasis on to improve. Now, in more detail, our school priorities are what you see here. And if you can see the cursor, you can see, one is to improve students' master of core content knowledge in all of the core content areas. It is to always close the achievement gap with regular education students and students with disabilities. It is the implementation of STEM-enriched curriculum, which we're not there yet, to be all transparent, but it is a part of one of the things that we want to get to. But we want to have a STEM-enriched curriculum to drive interdisciplinary and project-based teaching and learning approaches. We also want to prepare all of our students to have the essential life skills to be self-aware, collaborative, and accepting of diversity. Our school priorities around talent management. We want to prepare and develop knowledgeable staff focused on quality teaching. Let me say that again, prepare and develop knowledgeable staff focused on quality teaching. We also want to build teacher capacity in the core content areas, that is, again, ELA, math, science, and social studies. And I can tell you that we're spending our days, my admin team and I, having really passionate conversations around just how to do that. What are we going to roll out? What is our focus? What is the key lever to improve the instructional experience for our students? I think that it is a blessing, and I always try to look at the bright side of everything, but even in a pandemic, we don't have to really focus day to day on the logistics of school, like some of the logistical things, but we really can have a key eagle focus on quality of instruction. And so that is our work right now. The last part to this is our systems and resources. And so we want to ensure that our systems and resources are aligned to our school priorities, meaning that our students and staff have everything that they need to be successful. And then we want to build system and resources to support, when we get to it, STEM implementation. We go back to the presentation. And so I just spoke a little bit about our school improvement plan. Within that plan, you'll see that our goals is to increase our level of proficient students by 5%. And so with the Georgia Milestones, just a really quick tutorial on that. Georgia Milestones, each student takes. And in middle school, math and ELA in all three grade levels, 6th, 7th, and 8th, count towards the school CCRPI score. In 8th grade, it is science and social studies along with math and ELA. And so there are essentially 4 categories that students are scored upon. It is beginning level, which earns the school 0 points. It is a developing level, which earns the schools 0.5 or half of a point. It is proficient level, which earns the school 1 full point, and then it is distinguished level, which earns the school 1.5 points. And so, of course, we want all of our students to be 1.5ers, right? Or at least 1 pointers. But we have a lot of work to get our students to that space. And so it is so important that the quality of instruction that we're receiving each and every day is at an optimal and maximum level. Moving to the next, discuss the school's curriculum and assessments. Well, for us, we use the Georgia Performance Standards. That is what we live by, and that's what we teach each and every day. Outside of that, our district, the Atlanta Public Schools, has done a great job of having what we call units of study, where they've taken the standards and broken them down, giving our teachers a pacing chart. So it essentially tells us what we need to teach each and every day, how long we should spend on a particular unit, so on and so forth. So it is really detailed, and it breaks the standards down, because if I gave each and every person that's here this evening a standard, we would all interpret it in a different way. So there has to be some structure and systems in place to say, at a 6th grade level, a student must know this. At a 7th grade level, they must know this. And again, at an 8th grade level. So those units of study really break down the curriculum for us, and really as a guide, serves as a guide for what we need to teach and how we need to teach it. In addition to that, our elective courses, we have a myriad of elective courses that we offer, from PE to health to dance to music to art to JLC, health, and I know theater. I think I said band. We have computer science, Ms. Haddock's class, and visual arts, which is Mr. Howard's class. So students have the option or choices to be able to take just a lot of different elective courses as well. As far as the assessments that our students will take this year, as it stands, we still will take the Georgia milestones. Again, right now, today, as it stands, students will still be responsible for taking the Georgia milestones. And so I know that everybody has a very different opinions about that, especially by us being within a pandemic. But what I will say is that we're going to take on whatever it is that we have to take on. Old football player, old analogy, we're going to buckle our chin straps and we're going to face it head on, right? And our kids and our shock some people. I really do believe that, and I know that. So if we take the Georgia milestones this year, we take it. We're going to do our very, very best to prepare our students and do as well of a job as we possibly can. And if we don't take it, again, we'll spend this year really enhancing our quality of teaching and making sure that our students are improving, because we can't waste any time. So with that being said, the other assessments that our students are taking is the STAR assessment. Now, the STAR assessment is our universal screener. It is a test that we take in the beginning of the year, in the middle of the year, and in the end of the year. And STAR for me is going to be the key lever that I'm really watching to see, because what I want to know is, as a result of 180 days of instruction, whether it be virtual or face-to-face, have our kids gotten better, or are they stagnant? And so we've given the STAR assessment at the beginning of the year, and I'm really proud of the fact that we set a 90% goal. So we didn't hit our target, but we hit an 82% target of students actually taking the STAR assessment. And to be honest with you, it took a lot of work. And we did a lot of calling posts and wanted to keep our parents involved. But that's important because, again, it gives us a baseline to know where our kids are. Now, we have over 950 students that attend John Lewis Invictus Academy. And so we had 80% of them. We had over 760 students to take the exam, which for me is going to give us a really accurate depiction of where our kids are and really help us to get to help them improve. So we'll take that test again in January to see, has there been improvement from the beginning of the year until January? And then we'll take it once again, finally, at the end of the year to measure growth. And what I want to see is, again, where are our students from the beginning of the year and where they're going to end up. So really excited about that. The last assessment that I'll talk to you about is this program that we're using called iReady. And I'm really excited about iReady. I know our staff will probably say, this man's been talking about iReady so much the past couple of days, but I really am excited about it. I believe in it. I know that some of the other educators who I respect a whole lot throughout this city and even in other states swear by it. They've used it and have gotten just tremendous results. And so if it's good enough for them, then it's good enough for my students and our students here at John Lewis. Now, what iReady does and what I'm really excited about is iReady gives a diagnostic assessment, and it really meets a student where they are. And so, for instance, if we have a child that is, say, in the 7th grade, or even say a child is in the 6th grade, but that student is not quite performing at a 6th grade level, maybe they're performing at a 3rd grade level or a 4th grade level in math and in ELA. What iReady does is it gives that student a set of questions or a diagnostic test. And if they are at a 3rd grade level, it prescribes for them lessons and activities and tutorials to build them up. Now, I'm really excited about that because when we talk about this notion of closing the achievement gap, right? The only way that you can close the achievement gap is to meet a student where they are, right? But if I'm still trying to teach you at a level that's way over your head, then that gap is going to continue to widen and that kid is going to continue to not be engaged because I really may not be able to really fully understand what you're asking me to do. And it's really tough for teachers who have 25 to 30 students within their classrooms at varying levels to really scaffold and meet each individual student where they're supposed to be. Now that's our job as educators, and our teachers, work really hard at that, but it's really tough to do. But we have a program that's standards-based in iReady that does some of that work for us. So parents, I need your help because every Wednesday, your child is going to be doing iReady assignments or working on their learning path while they're in class on Wednesdays in math and ELA. And so when we reach out to you and we say your child hasn't done the iReady diagnostic, please make sure that they do. Please lean in. And if they're at home and they say, well, I don't have anything to do, I did all of my homework, tell them, get on the iReady and do an iReady assessment. Work on your learning path because each and every student has it. And not only does it help students who are, not up to par, but let's say we have a sixth grader that's functioning at a 9th grade level. Well, it also prescribes individual lessons for that kid too and helps them to continue to move forward, which is important. And so iReady is something that you'll hear a whole lot about in math and ELA at John Lewis. In the areas of science and social studies, we're using something called iExcel, which our teachers are becoming familiar with, and we'll begin to roll that out again as supplementary activities for students to be able to do. That's again personalized. And then in science and social studies, in social studies, we just purchased something called Galapage, which will do the same sort of thing in those content areas. All right, the last part of this says discuss the programs, support in place to help students, which I just kind of spoke about, but I do want to just mention a few other things. We have a really great program called After School All-Stars. Now, I did a calling post on yesterday about After School All-Stars. And again, the information is where? I know you're saying it out there. The information is on our website. And you also are going to be receiving calls to really encourage you to be a part of After School All-Stars. After School All-Stars is a free program that is available to all of our students at John Lewis. They have homework help every day. They have after-school tutorials. And in conjunction to that, they offer fun activities for students to do, such as chess or boxing or STEM. And so I encourage you to make sure that your student is taking advantage, especially if you're getting those calls from us saying your child is, not in class, which you should get every day coming from Infinite Campus, and you need to call the school if you don't. Or if you got a call from a support staff member that's calling every day to say your child's not in class or they need to complete assignments. My goal is to make sure that we are clearly communicating with you everything, all of these supports that we have. The last support piece that I want to speak to you about is something that is right now just a vision of mine, but it's coming to pass, and that is the John Robert Lewis Service Center. Some of you, and what we've done is taken about our most at-risk students in the areas of attendance, discipline, and grades, right? And we have made sure and ensured that we've partnered those students with a mentor, so to speak. And so some of the students' mentors are one of our counselors within the building, or it may be our Ms. Krebs, our school psychologist, or it may be Ms. Blackwood, our school social worker, or it could be Dr. Granger, who's over discipline in our district, to other partners we have, such as Communities in Schools, who carry a caseload of students for us as well, coupled with Chris 180. And so with all of these agencies and partners, my goal is to make sure that each student has someone outside of their teacher or maybe their administrator that's kind of like a go-to person for them. Like, this is somebody that you can go to if you're having an issue, if you're having a problem, but also that person has some incentives-based things that our students are working towards. I think the last part that I want to say about the service center, and this is, I'm speaking it into existence because I believe that it's going to happen and it will, but we will get to a point to where we are having food distributions. I think that it is important that we remove barriers for our families within the school as much as we can. And so I believe that as many of the barriers that we can remove at the schoolhouse, it makes the school a less intimidating place, and it makes our parents more encouraged to say, hey, little Johnny or little Sally, you need to make sure that you go to school and that you're on point and doing what the school is asking you to do. One, because that's what you're supposed to do, but two, that this school is really servicing as a resource for us, for our community, for our family, and we want to keep it going. All right. So I kind of spoke about the Georgia Milestones Assessment, and it says, how are these tests measure students' progress? So I kind of talked to you about the different bands, the beginning, the developing, the proficient, and the distinguished. And so, when it comes around to that time to take those assessments, you need to be asking, and we'll be talking a lot about the kids. We need 1s and 1.5s, proficients and distinguished students. And then explain the proficiency level students are expected to meet. That's just that. We want our students to be proficient and distinguished. Now, I'm not silly enough to know that every single student is going to be that, but that's the goal, right? And again, personalized learning is the key, meeting students where they are. The other thing that I would be remiss if I didn't mention about the Georgia Milestones is that it does measure growth. And so even if a student doesn't quite hit that proficient or distinguished mark, it does look at the last time that student took the Georgia Milestones and where they landed this time that they took it. Or students, it compares students who were in the same, who scored the same, right? So if students grow, then we still earn CCRPI points for that. So I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that too. It is about the proficients and the distinguished, but it's also about measuring growth. And so if we're all are getting better, if we all are in class every day, if teachers are prepared every day and teaching every day, right, we have to get better, right? There's no way that we can't. So that's my philosophy. All right. I'll talk just a little bit about parent engagement before we end this evening. So what is parent and family engagement? Again, parent and family engagement looks a whole lot different in a global pandemic. But essentially what it is parent and family engagement is an ongoing process that increases active participation, communication, and collaboration between parents, schools, and communities with the goal of educating the whole child to ensure student and achievement and success. So really what this is that we can't do it alone. As parents, you can't do it alone. As a school, we can't do it alone. We can't do it separately. We have to come together, right, for the betterment of our students. And that's why I was talking to you just about our service center and some of these things that we want to put in place with a lot of the partners. Grove Park Foundation is another one within our community that is lending a helping hand. And we have to take advantage of those things. But when we say removing barriers, right, essentially what this statement is saying is just that, like, how do we create moments and instances where our families are coming together and we are brainstorming around what's best for our students. When you come to our school, you're going to see something that's magnificent. I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Vincent, Mr. Henderson, Counselor Henderson, because when you come to John Lewis Invictus Academy now and you walk in our lobby, I don't know, for our sixth grade parents, you probably weren't there before unless you have some older siblings, some older children who are already there. But when you come into our school, you're going to see something that looks different. When you walk down our hallways, you're going to get a history lesson. You're going to get a lesson in culture when you walk up and down the hallways, and nobody's going to be teaching it to you. You're going to see it. When you walk up and down our stairwells, right? Big shout out to Mr. Miyake and our team at our school. When you walk up and down our hallways and in our stairwells, you're going to see a nice, pristine, clean place that looks good and smells good at all times. And guess what? We're going to keep it that way. We're going to be intentional about it. We're going to take care of everything that we have. We have such a beautiful facility, such a beautiful campus. And it is our job to make sure that we take care of it. And I'm not gonna relent on that standard. All right. Last couple of things. Student, parent, and family engagement plan. And again, you'll be able to find all of this where? On our school's website. All right. This plan establishes the school's expectations for parent and family engagement and describes how our school will implement a number of specific parent and family engagement activities. Again, I want to plug After School All-Stars. They have a parent meeting each and every Friday at the school. And we are having different incentive plans for our students and for families to be a part of. One of them would have taken place this Friday, but due to unforeseen circumstances, we won't be able to do that. But we will get those things back on the docket and make sure that we have celebrations for our entire faculty and staff and students and families. What is the Student and Parent Compact? School Parent Compact outlines how the parents, the entire school staff, and the students will share the responsibility for improved student academic achievement, as well as describes how the school and parents will build and develop a partnership that will help children achieve the state's high standards. And then what is our district plan and family engagement statement? This statement establishes Atlanta Public Schools expectations and objectives for meaningful parent and family engagement and describes how the district will implement a number of specific parent and family engagement activities. And it is incorporated in the LEA's plan submitted to the Georgia Department of Education. And so, I want to just show you what they look like. Uh-oh, that's not the version of it I wanted to show, but we'll work with this. But here is just a picture. When you go to our website, you'll see this again. This is a picture of our parent and family engagement plan for this year. And so it has everything in it that you needed to know, from our goals, what are our, how we are branching out, and again, just what our plan is for parent engagement. In addition to that, the compact form as well, which is there. All right. So you'll be able to find, again, these documents and any questions that you have about this, again, on our Trusty Schools website. I believe that that is pretty much all the information that I needed to share with you this evening. Ms. Bright, if you are there any questions that are being asked right now that I need to answer?
Yes, sir. There are a couple of questions in the chat.
Okay.
Amongst them are, the first one is, are we going to do virtual or in-person school learning in January?
Yep, great question. I'm not the superintendent, and so, what I can tell you is that our district has committed to being virtual through up until January, which at that time I know that there will be clear communications to each family. I will tell you that a few weeks ago we did the intent to return survey. That survey will be given out once again in December, I believe, for families to be able to elect which version they want. If you want to elect to come back to school face-to-face, you'll have that option. Or if you would like to remain virtual, you would have that option as well. I also know that our district is working right now. We're looking at 3 sort of phased-in plans that we're gathering information and feedback from our teachers and other staff members about. But the final decision on whether or not we will return or if we'll roll into those phased-in plans is ultimately the superintendent's. What I will tell you, though, is that we will be prepared and ready for whatever our district decides to do. I know that over the decisions were made. If you go to the Georgia Department of Public Health, what the metrics that our district was using was the amount of COVID cases per 100,000 residents. So if you go to that website, there's a map of Georgia there. You have to find Fulton County, and it tells you within 2 weeks how many confirmed cases there have been. I know our district was saying that it was not safe if the number was over 100. So when I checked this morning, it was like 150 confirmed COVID cases per 100,000 residents. But stay tuned to a final answer to that. That is not something that I can say indefinitely, but our superintendent will lead the charge as it relates to when and if we return. But just know that John Lewis Invictus Academy stands ready and is ready for our phased-in plan.
Okay, we have another one, which is, what is the reason for family A, B, and C? So what is the reason for the different families?
You mean on our grade levels?
Yes,
Yeah.
on the grade levels, yes.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. We just have to divide our students up. And so if anybody, I want to make sure that I say this and say this clearly, that there is no, high achieving team or low achieving team. It's just simply that we have, over 350 sixth graders, and we have 3 teams on each grade level. And so what we have to do is, we have for consistency purposes. We have a 6th grade team A, 6th grade team B, 6th grade team C, 7th grade team A, same thing. And I can tell you that every team has a set of gifted students, right? And so there's not one team that has all of the quote unquote gifted kids and another team that has none. Each team has high performing students or has all varying ranges of performing students on them.
And that's it. There are no additional questions.
That's it. All right. Well, if there aren't any further questions, I'll leave you with, again, we are working really hard. And I want to say that with all sincerity. We are working really hard. We're not wasting taxpayers' dollars, but my team and I, again, are putting in the work to really make our school a better place. And so if you haven't heard our daily affirmation, I want to leave you with that and make sure that your students know it. And these are words that we live by. And it goes like this. I am a John Lewis Invictus Academy Royal Lion, and today is a new day. I will attack this day with spirit and enthusiasm and leave the challenge it brings under my feet. There is nothing in this world that I cannot do because I'm guided by the values of perseverance, respect, integrity, discipline, and excellence. I am the pride of John Lewis Invictus Academy. I am a John Lewis Invictus Academy Royal Lion. With that,